I'm Brooklin Stormie, creator of Astronautical, and this is the True North Country Comics podcast.
Welcome to the True North Country Comics podcast, dedicated to promote Canadian comic book and graphic novel creators and supporters. I'm John Swinimer. On this episode, I chat with Brooklin Stormie about her new graphic novel, Astronautical, from Annick Press. Please like and subscribe to this website by hitting the subscribe button, so you'll be notified about new podcast interviews and article posts. This podcast is available wherever podcasts are enjoyed. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Brooklin Stormie is an artist and illustrator based in Peterborough, Ontario. A lifelong storyteller, picture drawer, and stargazer, she began creating her own tales before she could read or write by dramatically dictating them to her parents. She fell in love with outer space on August 12, 2010, when her family climbed Armour Hill to watch the Perseid Meteor shower. Brooklin is a grad of OCADU's illustration program and enjoys going on many adventures and side quests, creating art on windows, giant flower pots, and even pirate ships. Brooklyn's work has been published in Popshot Literary Quarterly, Flight Magazine, along with output for clients such as Collective Arts, Moser Associates, the City of Peterborough, Folk Music Ontario, and the Globe and Mail. Her latest graphic novel, nominated in 2025 for ALA's Best Graphic Novels for Children Reading, is Astronautical, published by Annick Press. The story of Astronautical goes like this. A century ago, planet Zephyr exploded under mysterious circumstances. Ever since, generations have been living out their lives on the remaining floating planet chunks. Brothers Max and Larry and their father, Captain Cherryhair, deliver goods around the galaxy on their spaceship, until their father is suddenly kidnapped by the fox minions of Cynosure, the planet breaker. Luckily, a couple of stars with a ferry boat business offer to help the brothers on their rescue mission. But when Max sustains a life-threatening black hole injury, little brother Larry finally has to step up and take care of his chronically in-charge big brother. Will Larry be able to figure out the secret of the broken planet and face a powerful Cynosure? Can he save not only his brother, but the people of Zephyr too? So without further ado, here's my chat with Brooklin Stormie about her new graphic novel, Astronautical, from Annick Press. So Brooklin Stormie, thank you very much for taking time to chat with me.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate your time. Before I get going with all the questions, I would like to know, what was the first comic book that you read?
That is a very good question. There's a few that come to mind, and I'm not quite sure of the sequencing of them. A really early one for me was Tintin in Tibet, which my brother actually read to me because I couldn't read yet. And then another one would be the first Bone book by Jeff Smith.
Cool. Those are great inspirations for sure as a youngster growing up, but I'm wondering who or what inspires you to create today?
I mean, I'm so inspired by other people working in this world. I love reading middle grade graphic novels. I am a huge fan of N.D. Stevenson, author of Nimona, and so many others. It's actually kind of hard to choose, but I'm really inspired by other people working in this world and making comics.
Yeah, I know that can be an unfair question because there are so many people and things that inspire us. So I appreciate that. We recently met up at the Prairie Comics Festival in Winnipeg. So I want to ask you, how was that event for you?
It was lovely. I had a really great time. It was my first time going. I had only recently become aware of the event and was super excited to get the chance to go. I met a lot of amazing artists, got really inspired, and it felt like a really good, successful weekend. So no complaints.
Good. Lots of good vibes there. That's for
Absolutely.
sure. So we're here talking about your newest graphic novel, Astronautical. Wondering, how would you describe that story to someone?
So Astronautical is a science fiction adventure story about two brothers who are on a rescue mission to save their father, who's been kidnapped by foxes in space. It's got a sort of comedic quality to it. My aim with it was to make it a lot of fun to read. There's also some real astronomy and science woven into the world building, so it's a little bit educational as well.
Great. Yeah, a lot of different themes going on there, but definitely worthwhile reading for sure. And after reading your bio, I get the sense that you're a fan of astronomy. So wondering if that was the inspiration for your book?
Totally. Yeah, that was something that got woven into the book as I went and definitely helped me a lot in the creation of the story. So whenever I would hit a roadblock with the story, it was actually really funny because my editor and I started saying, well, just look to the stars, because every time I started researching astronomy, there would be some sort of really inspiring real outer space fact that would help me solve my story problem, which was really interesting and worked out in a really cool, magical way. So I was
Uh,
really excited to find that.
Very good. It makes you not only like look down to read the book, but look up to understand more, I guess, right?
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. It
That's
made me,
cool.
yeah, really curious and excited about the universe.
Nice. Now, who is the target audience for your book? Typically, when I talk to creators, I understand that it's not just for the intended audience, but also there's a little bit something for the parents or the adult who's reading the book to the youngster. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I would love for that to be the case. I'd say generally the demographic, it's aimed at like kids 8 to 12, but I really hope adults will enjoy it as well and that there could be a bit of an all ages component to it. And I've heard from different ages of people who've read it, and it seems like there is a bit of a range. So that's really encouraging to me.
Good. Now, I want to switch gears a bit here and talk about your creative process.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I started with thumbnails. I actually did a lot of writing while drawing. So a lot of the visual jokes throughout the story were written kind of as I drew, which I found a really helpful way to work because it connected those two parts of my brain. And then, yeah, another aspect of the process for this book was research and looking into this sort of metaphor that could be mined from real science and real space phenomena and celestial bodies. It was really fascinating. So I'd say it was a bit of drawing, a bit of writing, and a bit of research going on there.
What was your favorite tool or tool of choice in putting this book together?
So I drew and colored this book digitally. I used the app Procreate on the iPad, which I found really intuitive and helpful because it meant that I could take the project with me wherever I went, which ended up being sort of necessary last summer as I finished coloring the project. I find the program still enables a very human or hand-drawn feeling to the line art, so that also helped a lot with me feeling satisfied with the final product.
That's great. Yeah, I hear a lot of people really value the portability of that device as opposed to being tied down to a desk per se. Not that there's anything wrong with it. A lot of people like that, but giving the freedom to move around and when the thought inspires you, you have the time to create and work on something. That's what the device allows you to do, which I hear some great things about it, which is good.
Yeah, 100%. I probably worked on this in every single room of my house, and I took it with me on trips and to my parents' place, and it was just great to be able to cart it around with me like that.
Now, you were out at Prairie Comics Festival with Annick Press. That's your publisher. I wanted to ask you, how is it working with that publication house?
It's been really amazing. I really can't say enough good things about Annick Press. The team is fantastic, and I feel very supported there and very encouraged to create projects that are very authentic to me and my vision. And I think that that's really special when you can find the right collaborators and it can actually make your work more itself rather than less. So, yeah, a very good experience working with them.
Good. And I assume that you're going to work with them in the future, in which case I'd ask you the question, do you have any other projects on the go that you can talk about?
Yes, we are working on another graphic novel. And right now, the idea that we are sort of cooking is like, it's sort of similar in some senses to Astronautical, that there's a bit of a science background, but a bit more inspired by plant science and biology. And that's kind of my basis for where I'm building the story from right now.
Oh, very good. We mentioned Prairie Comics Festival, and I think you were also at the Montreal Comic Arts Festival this year, and unfortunately I missed you, but do you have any other shows or events planned for the rest of the year?
Yes, actually, in October, I'll be at the Telling Tales Festival on Sunday, October 5th, and I'll be running a program there for kids where we'll be drawing a collaborative galaxy. And then actually also I'll be at the Word on the Street Festival, which is end of September.
Lots of good stuff on the go. And I also see that you host workshops about making comics. So, with that in mind, I'll have to ask you then, can you provide just one tip that you like to pass along to future comic book or graphic novel creators?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say definitely like this. I mean, this might be cliche at this point, but staying the course and being persistent really is so important. I find, especially in this world, because it did take me a really long time to learn and feel comfortable in it. So maybe to try to avoid letting discouragement or frustration stop you from creating the work you want to make. And also to have fun. If it's not fun and it's not, bringing you joy, if it doesn't feel like its own reward, then maybe it's good to take a break. But yeah, just keep it fun and curious and try not to get discouraged because it's a hard but very rewarding practice.
Good advice. So, with everything that you have on the go today and the future, where can people go online to find you?
So I have a website. It's brooklynstormie.com. I also have an Instagram, just Brooklyn Stormie on Instagram. And those are the main two places that I update and present, but I hope to be elsewhere in the future as well.
Thanks to Brooklyn for the chat. You can discover more about Brooklyn Stormie online at brooklynstormie.ca and on Instagram at Brooklyn Stormie. Discover more about Astronautical on Annick Press. And thank you for tuning in to the True North Country Comics podcast. I invite you to visit the True North Country Comics website to listen to even more conversations with creators about making comic books and graphic novels. I also encourage you to subscribe via the website so you'll be notified about new podcast interviews and article posts. This podcast is available wherever podcasts are enjoyed. Please like, follow, and subscribe. You can follow along True North Country Comics on most social media sites, and you're encouraged to send any and all feedback to John at truenorthcountrycomics.com. Thanks for tuning in, and come back soon for another episode. Bye for now. True North Country Comics Podcast is copyright True North Country Comics, copyright 2025.